Hey, what is up, Internet? This is Kyle with Slapshot Toys and Comics doing a special Thanksgiving morning action figure review. Hope all of your Thanksgivings with your friends and family are going fantastic. I just wanted to go ahead and do a review this morning while I had a little bit of time on my newest hot toy, which is the Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens Kylo Ren 1/6 scale movie masterpiece action figure. Now, I actually did win this figure from Sideshow Collectables during their Halloween Spooktacular 2016 event. So if you guys are on Facebook, on Twitter, make sure you guys follow them because they do some really awesome giveaways during the holidays. And the Spooktacular was just a lot of fun. A whole week of giveaways. They gave away reward codes for future purchases, all sorts of crazy stuff. I ended up getting a hoodie for free just from all the different codes that they got and all the money that they gave away for free. And then I ended up winning this Kylo Ren, which is just flat out awesome. So a huge thank you to Sideshow Collectables. I love their products. Their customer service is awesome. So make sure you guys are following them and get involved in these events because you actually can win things. But enough with all that. So let's go ahead and get this figure out of the packaging and let's take a look. And here's Kylo out of the packaging, and I really think Hot Toys, with as simple of a design as Kylo's costume was, I think Hot Toys absolutely nailed all the little design features as far as all the little details and everything that went into Kylo's costume and cloak. Now, there are some design choices I really don't like, especially in dealing with the LED lightsaber and the kind of exclusion of a lot of accessories. I feel like we didn't get a whole lot with this figure. But overall, I think it's a pretty good representation of Kylo Ren, and I'm really excited to add it to my collection. But let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories. First thing we'll take a look at is going to be the stand. Pretty simple stand we get from Hot Toys. Just a little hexagon base with the First Order logo right there in the center. That looks really nice. Has a Star Wars script with Kylo Ren there at the front, and then just a standard wire cradle to hold the figure. Now, as far as accessories, I honestly think this is probably the weakest Hot Toy I own. We didn't really get a whole lot with this figure. We got 3 sets of hands. So we have these open hands, we have the saber holding hands, and we have a set of closed fists. Then we also got one left hand that is like the force push. As far as the detail on all these, they look fantastic. So we have like all the stitching there on the back of the hands and fingers. That looks really, really good. And then on the palm, again, we have like all the little detail with all the little stitching and everything in there. It really looks like the leather gloves that Kylo wore in the movie. So the detail on these are fantastic, but we just got those 3 sets and then this one force push hand. Now, as far as the sabers, we did get one little loose saber that actually has a little clip that will go onto Kylo's belt on the actual suit itself. And this thing is detailed really nice. You get all like the little kind of grays and browns in there. Have like the little wires all sculpted out. Like all the mechanics there are sculpted out. That looks really, really good. Love almost like the burn, kind of like the burnt gold paint there on the sides of the hilt. That looks fantastic. Really, really detailed. Love the paint apps that they used on the saber. And now as far as the actual pieces to the saber, so these are all kind of like the clear plastic, and they have like the little energy, I guess kind of, I don't know what you'd call them, like little bursts. They're all sculpted out. That look really, really cool. This is like a nice little clear red. Looks really, really good. And then these all actually just clip into the sabers themselves. So it's really easy to be able to display it with the blades or without the blades. That works really nicely. Just to show you how this works real quick, and then this little sculpted detail right there on the end of the saber actually just slides right into this groove, and you can just put the hilt right there on the belt and it stays real nice and snug. The last accessory we are given are actually 2 different forearms. One has all the wires and everything for the LED lights in the lightsaber, so that has the light up function. This one does not have that, but it also has the more articulation. They are both double jointed at the elbow. Where they really differ is this one, because of all the wires for the lighting, it only rotates just a little bit at the wrist. This one has the full rotation and also has the hinge for the up and down. So it all depends on how you want to display them. If you like the light up function, which I kind of do, you're going to limit your articulation, but you're going to get that really cool LED lights on the lightsaber. And then this one will give you a lot more dynamic poses, but you won't be able to light up the lightsaber. Now, taking a closer look at Kylo himself, I think Hot Toys did a really good job capturing the amount of detail that they could in such a simple design, where it's really, just a mask, a cloak, a robe, those type of things. But they did it in a really cool way where they got all the textures, all the battle damage details and everything. I think they did a really good job sculpting all that out. So if we take a closer look here at the mask, we have like all the scuffs, all the nicks over there in the mask. That looks really good. All the detailed line work there around the eyes. That looks really, really cool. You can kind of move this hood just a little bit. It doesn't really lay flat. I know there are some mods and stuff people have done online where you can get it to actually kind of lay back a little bit more. I don't think I'm going to do anything like that. I think it looks okay as it is. And I honestly like the hood up. I like that look just a little bit better with the poses I'm going to keep him in. But that all looks really good. You have all the scrapes and scuffs there on the top of the helmet. That looks awesome. All the scratches, just huge chunks out of his helmet because he's really seen some battle. It just looks really, really good. Now, as far as the hood itself, once we get it back up here, there are actual bendy wires here on the sides, so you can actually kind of get that in different poses. So if he's like looking off to the side, you can kind of get that bendy wire to just move back a little bit so it looks a little bit more natural. Unfortunately, it doesn't turn a whole lot with the head, so that's a little bit of a design flaw. I wish like this whole thing would actually kind of turn whichever way you're looking, so you got a little bit more of a closer and full view of his mask, depending on how he's turned around. But you know, it's how they were able to tailor the suit. But the cloak looks fantastic. I love all this like little intricate detail that they were able to get, like the pattern and texture there on the cloak looks really, really good. His arms look phenomenal here with like this ribbed fabric that just looks really, really awesome. And then looking back here, the rest of the cloak, I mean, it's just all the different pieces and layers, and it's all stitched together. Looks fantastic. All the frays there on the edge just looks really, really cool, and it moves really well with the figure. So it's just a really cool design choice. Now going back to the arms, the only thing that does really, really suck, and this is my biggest gripe with this figure, and this is something to be extremely warned about if you do purchase this figure. So to be able to change out the arms, what they've given us is this extremely small zipper right here. Hopefully the light's actually so you can see that, but it's extremely tiny. It's extremely hard to move, and they don't have any sort of stop at the end. So what happens is, so the instructions, and make sure you read the instructions on this figure before you do anything to it, because this can break extremely easily. So what you have to do is basically unzip this, roll up the sleeve, pull out the articulated arm that comes on the figure if you want the LED one, and plug it back in. Now, unfortunately, when I did that, I made it to about down here, and the zipper just popped out of the track. And it took me a better part of an hour just to try to get that. And I actually had to cut the fabric just a little bit, but I eventually got it back in track. And honestly, I don't know, once those batteries die, if I'm going to mess with this, if I'm going to mess with the zipper ever again. I may just say, you know what, this looks good enough with just the blade without the lights. So this is something to be extremely cautious about if you're going to purchase this figure. Just be extremely careful with that zipper, because you don't want to ruin this figure. And it seems like, looking online, a lot of people have had these problems as well. And how the LED lightsaber works is, once you get the arm in, there's a little battery pack and a little switch right here on the arm. Like I said, just be extremely careful with the zipper. But you just flip that little light, and then it comes on. And what I've actually been doing is keeping the zipper closed and then finding the little switch through the cloak, and that's been working pretty well. But just for this purpose, I just wanted to show you exactly what the little switch looked like. But the lightsaber lights up a fairly good amount. I would like it to be a little bit brighter, to be honest, especially the actual main blade. These little side blades look really good, but once you get past about here, it starts to dim out here at the top. So I wish Hot Toys would have done a little bit better job with that. But moving down the figure, so you get this belt that looks really nice, that real nice leather look there, all the little detail there in the buckle. We have the little hilt holder right there that's nicely sculpted out. Back here on the back of it, just the more of like kind of the leather look in the belt. That looks really nice. Going down the cloak, again, you get all of the little texture detail in the cloak that looks really good. And then you have all the under layers that are most like I guess like a tracksuit, like windbreaker kind of material. And then going underneath, you actually have the tunic under here that looks awesome. And then going even further, even more layers, you have his pants, which actually are kind of like a windbreaker material, which I thought was kind of weird. And then going down the boots, these look really good as well, with all the little sculpted stitching and line work in there. You have the buckles around the top and around the ankles there. That looks really cool. Love that little line work there on the heel. And then down at the bottom, nothing other than just the Hot Toys and Disney and Star Wars copyright stuff. Taking a closer look at the articulation of the figure, I think is actually pretty good. As far as head rotation, he can go side to side, but he is limited just by how much the hood covers up his mask and how much you don't want it to. He does, like I said, during the details section, he does have wires up here in the hood, so that does help a little bit. So he does have good rotation. He can look up actually quite a bit. Actually, let me go ahead and just move the hood right there. So he can look up quite a bit, and he can not really down a whole lot because of how the mask is designed with that little faceplate right there. But like I said, the head rotation is basically just limited by the hood. As far as the arms, he can go more than 90 degrees to his body, so that works really well. As far as rotation here at the shoulder, he can go a little bit, again, more than 90 degrees to his body. He is double jointed at the elbow, and now this is the LED light up feature, so the only rotation he has on this wrist is rotation and just a little bit of it because the wires start to pull. But as far as the other hand, he actually can go up and down and has full rotation as well. As far as the waist rotation, there is rotation at the waist, but once again, the suit kind of hampers what it can actually do. There is a little bit of a crunch here in the abdomen, but not a whole lot there. As far as leg articulation, he can actually go out quite a bit, but once again, you're kind of limited by that suit right there. You don't want that to tear or anything like that, but still, that's actually, if you remove the robes a little bit, that's actually a fairly good wide stance. He does have, and once again, sorry about all the cloaks here. He does have rotation there on the upper thigh. He is double jointed. Does have double jointed knees, so that works really well. And now, as far as the boots, he does have a lot of movement down here in the legs, like he does have ankle pivot, and does move up and down. But these are one solid boot, so it just depends on how much that rubber of that boot gives way. Depends on how much articulation you get. So he is fairly well articulated down here. It's just a little bit limited by that boot. So that is going to do it for my review of the Hot Toys Kylo Ren action figure. Once again, I just want to thank Sideshow Collectables so much for doing their Spooktacular event. It was awesome that they chose me to win this figure. Even though there are some definite flaws in the design of this figure, especially with this LED lightsaber, and then some of the lack of accessories compared to other Hot Toys, especially the exclusion of like an Adam Driver face sculpt. I think that would have really made the figure just that much better, and just the limited kind of number of hands and just accessories overall, I just don't feel is really up to Hot Toys standards. Even though all that said, I still really enjoy this figure. I think it's a fantastic representation of the Kylo Ren from the movie, and I cannot wait to put him in my Star Wars display case. He's definitely going to be, I think, the focal point of that display right now, just because of how cool he does look. All right, so again, that is going to do it for me tonight. I want to thank you guys so much for checking out these videos. It means a lot to me that you're watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this Hot Toys Kylo Ren, what you thought of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens in general. Love to hear from you guys. Love to talk Star Wars. Make sure you guys go ahead and like this video if you did like it, and go ahead and subscribe. That way you don't miss out on any future content, including more Hot Toys reviews, more Star Wars Elite Series reviews, and anything else I can get my hands on. So once again, that is going to do it for me this evening. I want to thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.